Hi, everybody. This is Jeffrey at Ripe Color, and
This is Nancy Jean in the garden.
this is the winter solstice, December 21st reading. And we're going to read on our reemergence into the light.
Oh, shortest day of the year. We got to move forward.
All right. So before we begin, please like, subscribe, share, comment, press the bell for notifications. We both offer readings, personal readings. We both offer physical goods, although they're different physical goods. I'm a textile designer, and I have t-shirts and astrology t-shirts. And Nancy offers the grid. That's the grid, which she'll do a personal reading and make a personal grid for you, or the garden, which is a divination method, which is right in front of you, which works with crystals. And so Nancy throws 5 crystals. I throw 5 cards on energy, which are
body, mind, spirit, grounding, and clarity.
Right. See, that's what happens on the solstice.
Okay.
And yeah.
Ooh.
There we go.
Out the outer ring.
We're in the outer rings.
Means movement, higher order.
2 seconds. You can hear me well?
You sound great. Can you hear me?
Okay.
I mean, that's even more important because they don't got anything to see from me except what they can hear.
Well, and maybe if someone's reading your lips, they're really, really talented.
They're yeah.
Wow, how'd you do that? I don't know. Okay. Okay. All right. For body, I get a healing.
Yep.
Get a healing. And also, this has this energy of equanimity, which is, appropriate on the solstice.
Right. So
I get a healing. Now for mind, I think, you might be dreaming a little bit. A little bit. But I sometimes I think it's really good to dream. I think if we dream, unless we dream, it doesn't really come into reality. What you're daydreaming or night dreaming about and imagining, I think it's good, actually, because sometimes this card can be a little weird, but today I think it's like, okay, and it's also prophecy. So this is a good day to like really get information.
Right.
Domesticity, right? Stability, calmness. I always get a sense of calmness with this, and comfort. Then for grounding, yes, great day to meditate. Great day to meditate and contemplate. The thing that I really that always strikes me about this card, because when you first look at it, it's like, is that dude dead? It's like, no, if he was dead, his hands would not be like that.
Yes.
He is meditating and contemplating. So it's a 4, which is also stability. The interesting thing about this card is that he's doing it in the church, right?
Right.
So I feel like when he goes into his little state, he's really inviting spirit in.
Right.
He's really inviting spirit in and saying, what do you have for me? What's the message? What's my next move? It's kind of like that.
Yep.
And then for clarity, I think the clarity is going to be very practical. It's going to be very practical and very nurturing, because this one is very practical and very nurturing. I always understand this card really as the single mother. So she sort of has to be the mother and the father. She knows how to make the money. She knows how to spend the money. She knows when not to spend the money. She's very good like that. She, things make sense to her. And, she's also, even though it's a very fertile here, this is very, to me, it's like a hearthy, wintry sort of energy too. So that's what I get. Overall, it's a very calm. You have 2 4s. You have a queen, patience. So overall, it's fairly calm. It's sort of like, okay, here we are. at the change of the season, the change of the light. And, like I'm sort of prepared for the winter.
Yeah.
So that's what I get.
Okay. That matches very closely what I have. For those of you who haven't seen the garden before, each of these tiles, each of these spaces has words on them. And then I relate the vibration of the stone to the space. And I always start, if something lands in the heart, that's where I always start, because the heart is the entry into the garden. And what it says is we have clarity there. And it says this reading says wisdom comes from clarity of our own emotions.
Beautiful.
And then my other favorite space on the board is go for it. And that's really what it's called. And when the mind's in go for it, your thoughts are leading the way. So the heart's opening up, your thoughts are leading the way. This has to do with sort of dealing with clarification of things that have happened in the past and dealing with those emotions and bringing them forth clearly. So the spirit has ended up over here, and it says spirits being transformed by your thinking right now, and the body being in the present is that this says when this shows up here, it means at this time. So this is really happening inside all of us right now. We're getting a lot of clarity. We're getting a lot of insight. Our hearts are actually opening up to how to move forward. So I think it's just a wonderful day to think about, okay, this is the shortest day of the year. Now it grows and grows and grows until we meet up again with that timing in June again, which is really important. So I'd say this is a good day to sit down with your thoughts, get clear on what they are, because your mind's going to lead you to the next good thing you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Really wonderful. And I think a good thing to do on the solstice, the winter solstice especially, is to really say out loud and to spirit and to yourself, it's like, I invite the light in.
Yes, because this is time for us to change.
Really lovely.
I'm going to try one thing that I can do a little bit. We're going to throw a bonus in because it's the solstice. This is a piece of amber. It's real amber. It's amber this is pine sap that got scrunched at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. When they have earthquakes, these things break up and they float to the surface, and the fishermen collect them with nets. It's that light. But amber is one of the ancestor stones. And since this is sort of a time we look back and think back, and it's said, to come to terms with what's going on in your life, I'm going to throw the amber and see where it lands. Okay, what it's telling me, it's landed in false. And false doesn't necessarily mean kind of the true false. It means that some of what you think may not be true. And what it's saying is, I think since we rolled it as the ancestor stone, now's the time to let go of our ancestors. Now's the time for us to move forward on our own path.
Yeah.
I think that's why it landed there. So that's another thing you can do with the garden. If you're interested in the garden, I do sell them. I will be having classes in January for anyone who buys them in December. And right now they're all at on a discount of $10 off a garden. So that's the end of the commercials, folks. And with that, we're going to say have a peaceful night or peaceful day. Bye-bye.